Hello everyone, and welcome to Create and Learn, where we make magic with technology. In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to make falling snow in Scratch. Let's get started. To begin, navigate to scratch.mit.edu and click Start Creating. This will make a brand new project in Scratch. You can dismiss the tutorial, and you can also delete the cat sprite that loads in by default by pressing the trash can down here. Now, you're ready to add a backdrop to your project. Go down here, click Choose a Backdrop, and you can pick any backdrop that you like. For me, I'm going to look through, and I think Garden Rock looks like a good choice, so I'll click that, and it'll load in. Go ahead and pick your own backdrop, and then you will be ready to move on. At this point, we're ready to add a snowflake sprite to our project. You can do that by clicking down here, Choose a Sprite. For this project, we're making falling snow, so we'll go to the search bar, and we'll type in snow. Right here we have a snowflake, which will work perfectly for our project. Give it a click, and it will load in. As you can see, it's quite large at the moment, but we'll fix that in a later part of this project. So for now, once you have the snowflake loaded in, you are all set and ready to move on. Now that we have a sprite and a backdrop in our program, we're ready to start coding. Like any program, we need an event to start off our program. So we'll go to Events, and we'll start our program when the green flag is clicked. You can click that block in and place it in your project. The next block we need is a hide block, and it is in the purple section. I'll explain why we need this block in a second. Once you have the hide block, we're next going to need a forever loop because we want our snow to fall forever. Go to Control, find Forever, and click and drag that in. We don't want our program to create snowflakes too quickly, so we'll add a wait block. That is in the, right here, also in the Control section. We'll click and drag this in. We'll leave it as 1 second for now, but we might want to decrease that value later. Now, we need infinite snowflakes to create this project because we want them to just keep falling from the sky. The way you do that in Scratch is with a block called a clone block. So we're going to find the create a clone block, and it's right down here. So we'll click and drag that in. All right, so let's take a look at our code and see what it's doing. When green flag clicked, hide. The reason we need to hide is because we want to keep this original sprite so that we can make clones of it, but we don't actually want it to be visible, because it will just be standing in the middle of our program not doing anything. And it's also quite large, so we don't want anyone to see that. So we're going to hide it, but then we're still allowed to create clones of it. So once it's hidden forever, we will wait a certain amount of time, and then we'll create a clone. And then we'll wait a certain amount of time, and then we'll create a clone. Like I said, we can leave this as 1 second for now, but we might end up decreasing this value later. But for now, this is fine. At this point in our project, we have set up a way to create clones of the original snowflake, but we haven't told the program what to do with those clones. So let's set that up now. Find the When I Start as a Clone block inside of Control and drag that into your program. This block will activate every time a new clone is created. So that's every 1 second as of now. So every 1 second a new clone will be created, and then this block will activate everything underneath it. So when I start as a clone, the first block we're going to grab is to handle the size. So like I mentioned before, the snowflake is way too big. We don't want it that big. So let's go to Looks, and let's find Set Size 2, and we'll change the percentage so that our snowflakes will be a little bit smaller. We're going to introduce some randomness to our program so that not every single snowflake will be the same size. This will make our program look a little more natural and a little bit more like the real world. So we'll go to Operators. We'll grab Pick Random, stick it inside here, and we'll have our snowflake spawn in at 5 to 20% of the original size of this snowflake. These numbers are up to you. You can change them as you wish, but we found that 5 to 20% is a pretty good range for snowflake size. Now that we have size handled, we also want to figure out where our snowflakes are going to be going. So the way that location and placement works in Scratch is that there's an invisible grid here. From the left to the right, those are the X values, and they range from -240 to +240. And then up and down, those are the Y values, and they also range from 240 to -240. If that doesn't make too much sense, that's okay. I'll walk you through it. But just so you know, there are invisible values that kind of determine where our sprites are being placed in this grid. So, all that said, we need to make a variable that will control the X value of our snowflakes. That is, it will control how far left and how far right our snowflakes are. So let's press Make a Variable. We can name this X value. We can press OK. and we have a brand new variable called x value. Now we're going to want to drag this block, set, and we're going to be controlling x value, that new variable we just made. So set x value to, and again, we're going to introduce some randomness. So we'll go back to operators. We'll grab this, pick a random number block. Now, if you remember, I said that x values can range from negative 240 to positive 240. So if we put those two numbers in here, negative 240 and positive 240, excuse me, our snowflakes will be able to spawn anywhere from the left part of the screen to the right part of the screen. And this is great because when snow's falling, it's falling everywhere. And if we set our program up this way, our snowflakes will fall all along the top of the screen. All right, so we are in this block, we are setting the x value. We're picking some random number. So now we have to use that x value to move these snowflakes around. So let's go to motion. Let's find this block where we can control where our snowflakes are going. And for our x value, we're going to plug in our x value that we just came up with. And for our y value, if we put 180, the snowflake will spawn at the top of the screen, which is what we want because snow falls from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen. All right, now if you remember, we had this hide block before. We wanted to make this massive original snowflake invisible, rather. So let's go to looks, and we're going to have to use a show block so that our clones aren't invisible as well. When you duplicate something or when you clone something that's invisible, the clones will be invisible too. So this show block will make those clones now be able to appear. All right, so we have made our clones visible, we've picked their size, we've picked where they're going to go. Now we need to introduce some movement. To do that, we can use a glide block. So let's go to motion. Let's find, here we go, glide 1 second to an x and a y value. Drag that in. All right, again, we're going to introduce some randomness. We don't want all our snowflakes to fall at the same rate. Some of them will fall more slowly, some of them will fall more quickly. So let's grab another pick random block, stick it in here, and we can have our snowflakes fall for between 3 seconds if they're really quick snowflakes to 7 seconds if they're a little bit slower. These numbers are up to you. You can make them whatever you want, but we found that 3 to 7 works pretty well. Our snowflakes are going to be falling straight down, so that means the x value isn't going to change. So we can go to variables, and we can stick our same x value in here. And for the y value, we want them to land somewhere along the bottom of the screen. So this number is up to you, but we have found that negative 265 works pretty well. So we'll stick that in. Now, we need to figure out what we're going to do with our snowflakes after a certain amount of time, because this over here is a forever block. So our snowflakes are going to keep spawning and spawning and spawning. And our computers are going to have a certain limit. Once too many snowflakes are on the screen, your computer is going to start to get slow and your program might crash because it just can't handle how many snowflakes are on the screen. So we're going to have to delete our snowflakes eventually if we want the program to be able to keep running. So we'll grab a wait block that's in the control section. And waiting 15 seconds is a pretty good amount of time. If you want to make it longer so that the snowflakes last longer, you can go ahead. But remember that if you make this number too big, your program might crash because there might be too many snowflakes on the screen at once. After waiting that certain amount of time, we're going to want to delete the clone. So we'll go down here, delete this clone, and that's what will happen after a certain amount of time. All right, let's press the flag and see where we're at. All right, so our snowflakes are spawning in pretty slowly because it's 1 second between snowflakes. They get down to the bottom of the screen and they stick. If you don't want your snowflakes to stick to the screen, you can change this value to 0, or you can delete the block entirely. And you'll see that when the snowflakes get down to the bottom, they just disappear. They're not sticking to the ground. Another thing you can control with your program, so we see they're just disappearing. Another thing you can control with your program is how quickly these snowflakes are falling. So right now, we spawn a snowflake, we wait 1 second. We spawn a snowflake, we wait 1 second. If you would like your snowflakes to appear a little more quickly, you can change this value. Let's try 0.1 and see how that works. All right, so now we have much heavier snowfall because we're waiting a less amount of time between when each snowflake appears. All right, so go ahead, fiddle around with your program. You can change these values that I said are up to you. And when you're ready, we'll move on to the last little part. All right, so at this point, we're just about done with our program. We have everything looking pretty much how we want it. The only one teeny tiny thing is that up here, that x value variable that we made that's controlling how far left and how far right our snowflake appears, it is showing up here in the corner, and we don't really want that. So what we can do, we can get another when green flag clicked, and we can hide that variable by going to variables and pressing hide variable and changing it to x value. So now when I press my green flag, that variable disappears and we don't have to see it. All right, so that's all there is to it. Now that we have falling snow, you can go ahead and customize this program however you want. So if you leave the snowflake alone and you go in and you add more sprites and you do whatever you want, you'll have falling snow in the forefront and then all your characters doing whatever you want in the backdrop. So maybe it would be good to add a snowman, maybe Santa Claus or something like that, add some more animations and have a fun wintry project. So I hope you enjoyed your lesson today, and let's learn a little bit more about how you can learn more in the future. If you enjoyed this class and are interested in learning more, consider taking a free Scratch class online with us. We'll cover topics similar to those discussed in this video with Scratch, and you'll be able to make your first animated program. In addition, we also offer classes such as Minecraft Redstone Engineering and classes on Python and other topics. Please consider taking a class online with us if you're interested in learning more. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.